Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We have Coach Spiker from Drexel University. He's going to start off. And when he is finished with his opening statement, please, after your question, say your name and where you're from. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming today. We're very excited about this opportunity to participate in the tournament. I'm very proud of the players in our program to have earned this right to be here. It was a challenging and difficult season on many levels for all of our programs and all of our young men in our programs. And really, if you go back a year from now to think about, and I try to see things through the perspective and lens of what our players are experiencing, you can't have a more emotional or full year in everything that has gone on. And I'm happy that they've gotten to this point and they get to experience success on the basketball floor. And I'm very happy for them. You know, I'd also add before we take a question, just that in a pandemic situation, there are so many people behind the scenes that work so hard to get us to this point. I'd like to just thank the doctors at Drexel University that came up with the protocol to put us in place to be successful. Dr. Marla Gold, Dr. Tucker, Dr. Cruz, and also our athletic trainer, Mike Westifer. When you're in Philadelphia, our COVID restrictions and protocols are much more different than most of the country. And we've been testing daily since October, with the exception of the Christmas break. And that group has kept us safe and allowed us to continue to practice when others weren't. And happy that they get to see the return on the investment they made in our program.
Okay, first question, Austin.
Hey, Zach. Hope everything's going well out in Indy. As far as Illinois goes, obviously tough team. Will we see a little bit more of Timmy to kind of combat Coburn down in the post?
Well, Illinois is a physically imposing team, as we all know. We've all seen a lot of tape of them. They're on national TV all the time. And I think we need to be ready to have a couple different options. Tim is one of them. But you know, their offensive attack from a defensive perspective is not just one player. Coburn is terrific and physically dominating down low. But they surround him with a number of other players that are good in transition and also very good catch and shoot three-point shooters. So certainly playing a team in the tournament, all teams are good and successful. And if you take away one thing, they're going to be able to hurt you in a different way. So we're going to need all of our players available to combat the athleticism and the scoring ability of Illinois.
And for Cam, you know, obviously everybody knows that Io is one of the best players in the country. For you guys, how are you going to take, you know, what's the strategy defending him? And then on the flip side, what are you guys going to look to do on offense?
You know, just throwing different bodies at him. You know, we have a lot of defenders, so just showing him different looks, making everything tough for him. Trying not to give him any open looks. And on offense, just doing what we do. We move the ball a lot. We find the open man. We shoot threes a lot. So, you know, just being us on offense.
And for you, what's life like in the bubble? What are you guys doing to kind of stay active and not just kind of sit around all day?
You know, coach keeps us active all day. Some players would say a little bit too much, but yeah, play video games, you know, with each other online, and then, yeah, just hang out.
And last one for me, Zach, obviously you guys had the practice today. How'd you like the look of the team today?
You know, you're talking about our team and our practice today.
Yeah.
I think like any day, certainly you like some segments better than others, but I did think that, you know, you're here. We had an earlier practice slot, which wasn't too different. We normally practice in the morning, but a little slow start. But once we got going, I thought we were pretty good. And again, Austin, I'll refer to this a lot. The deeper we've gone into the season, the more communication has been player to player. And I think if guys aren't in the right spot, our players are able to hold each other accountable and communicate, hey, we got to get going here. And that's an area where I've seen a lot of growth in Cam Winter in the last month and a half. And there's no mistake, no mystery there that we played better basketball in the last month and a half as well. So I liked our practice today.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Austin.
Next question for Carter.
Hey, Coach.
We'll come back to Carter. Justin.
Hi, Justin Jackson with the Morgantown Dominion Post has questions for Coach Spiker. Coach, obviously your journey to get to this point, the years spent as a grad assistant and, working your way up through West Virginia and Army and Cornell. That journey to get to this point, what's it meant to you and what will it, mean for you moving forward?
Hey, Justin, good to hear from you again. Every coach has a story, all right? And behind that story, though, are successful basketball players and players that make that story possible. So there is a story and a journey, but I'm honestly more focused on the story and journey. Cam Winter, Tadas Karinas, Zach Walton, guys in our program, and Tadas and Zach are seniors. I'm focused on making this the absolute best experience it can be. There was a bit of memory lane getting here to Indianapolis, staying in the Hyatt. This exact hotel was my first Final Four 21 years ago. Coach Mark Downey from my hometown introduced me to Damon Stevenson, who was on the staff at Winthrop, at the bottom of these escalators right over there. And that's how I got the opportunity to go to Winthrop and be on the coaching staff there, and to be back here 21 years ago. I didn't even have money to stay in a hotel. I stayed with a friend of my sister's, and Mark Stead is a friend we kept in touch, and excited to maybe leave him a couple tickets 21 years later and thank him for help me get started. But other than that, guys, honestly, I think the emotion and joy that some of you may have seen at the end of the game in our conference tournament was about the men in our program and our managers and our training staff. Everyone has sacrificed and worked so hard this year. So I joke with a lot of people like, I was fine till Winter. I saw tears in Winter's face. And then at that same time, I walked by the scores table and somebody happened to be chopping up some onions at the scores table. So my eyes started to water a little bit. But seriously, it was a great moment. And I think it's one that everybody in our program, on our campus, and honestly, even former basketball players really appreciated the magnitude of it for our basketball program and our university.
I imagine you've been getting a lot of support from the people back here, family back here in Morgantown.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, those things don't happen unless you have great people and players in our program. And as we've talked about, after tough losses, why we're going to get through something is because of the character of our players. So, Justin, those are all accurate things, and I appreciate you asking, but certainly happy for that moment, but more focused on our guys and helping them have a great experience.
Sure.
I guess
Thank
I
you,
don't
Coach.
want to do too much. Let's let them hang out in their rooms and play video games, right, Winter?
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question for Scott.
Hey, Zach, I'm Scott Richard with the Champaign News Gazette. I was curious kind of your thoughts on Andre Curbelo, maybe what he's meant to Illinois, especially in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Scott, knowing him for a long time, not personally, but I've watched him and seen him play, recruited that program, and haven't had the opportunity to see him play. I think he's incredibly crafty with the basketball. He's got a very good feel for the game, physically a little bit different than other guys on the team, but also allows him to get into some tighter spaces. I think he really delivers the ball to Coburn when he's open as well as anybody on the team. And then I also think he's got really quick hands defensively. So, people may try and attack him at times, but I think he's very sleight of hand. He's crafty. I think he had a steal. One of the games I saw, he was just kind of hanging back and laying around and sneaks up behind the guy. So I think he's, if you've got that guy contributing to your program alongside as a role player compared to everybody else, you've got a really good team, and certainly Illinois does. We all know that.
And you mentioned Illinois maybe not just being Kofi, and not just Io. I mean, 6 guys in double figures in the Big Ten tournament championship game. What's the challenge maybe there when it could be any one of them?
Yeah, I mean, it could be Frazier, it could be Miller, it could be Williams. I don't want to butcher Georgie's last name. It could be him as well. So, no, it's a sign of a nationally ranked team that's well balanced. They've got multiple weapons and multiple threats, and they're a really, really good basketball team. They're very well coached. They've got some great schemes that they execute. And what we need to do to be successful is be at our absolute best and hopefully keep them off balance and go from there.
And maybe one for Cameron as well, just, as kind of upset filled as the CAA tournament was, are you guys kind of just embracing maybe the chaos that can be March?
Yeah, we always say March is a special month, and you can make special things happen in March. So I think every day we come into practice with that mentality that we're the underdog and we can make a special thing happen.
Thank you both.
Carter, we'll try you again.
Hey, Coach, you hear me okay now?
We can hear you, Carter. Everybody.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So first off, Carter Hill, 5th quarter. I've been following the CAA for a while, so happy to see you guys finally get in the tournament. But you're kind of in a unique situation as a mid-major in a major city in the country. So is there a sense of pride to represent the city of Philadelphia with Drexel basketball as you head into the NCAA tournament?
Absolutely. I mean, this championship and our run in the conference tournament is not just for our players, but it's for all of our former players. I mean, there've been some really, really good teams, Carter, at Drexel. I think back to a couple of teams that Brew coached, 06, 07, 11, and 12, that quite frankly were tournament worthy and did not get a selection. So when we play on Friday, we play to represent everyone that's ever worn the uniform at Drexel, but also our student body, our university, our administration. But as you said, we talk about it a little bit, when we need to, when we play other schools in the city that, our guys may or may not have gotten the same attention from the same group of schools, but we get that opportunity. And we see challenges at Drexel as opportunities. And when we play those teams, it's a great opportunity for us to prove what we're capable of doing. And I think we were able to do that the last couple of years when we played those games.
Thank you.
Next question for Rob.
First for Cameron, one of the big stories so far is how you've been eating and whether you've had enough to eat. So I'm curious about what your meals have been like the last couple of days. Could you tell us what you had for dinner last night?
Wow. I think we had pasta with some sauce, chicken parm, potatoes maybe. I don't know. It's buffet style now that we're out of quarantine. When we were first in there, they were delivering meals to our rooms. So I think that's what people might be complaining about.
Okay. So you can choose how much you have to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, good. For Zach, I'd like to know about what technologies you're using to scout, watch clips, put everything together. Do you have enough? Do you have screens that are big enough to project? What's it been like?
Excuse me. You mean like screens for like film for our team?
Yeah, watch for coaches to put together scouting reports and for teams to get together and watch.
You know what? We've gone about our process like any other game. The screen part is kind of irrelevant. We just, and maybe, I don't know, different programs are different. We just use a wall, right? We just take the projector and back it up till it gets really big and it's on the wall and it's like a drive-in movie theater. Honestly, it's plenty big. I'd piggyback on Cam too. I think one of the, not that any meal's been bad, but the chicken I had the second night that was delivered to my room during quarantine was terrific, right? It was really good. So we're a program that we're built on our core values of gratitude, respect, and compete. Appreciate what's given to you. Appreciate the opportunity you have. Respect how hard you have to work to be successful. Respect listening to your teammates. You've got a locker room that covers the entire world. Learn about other people and what their perspectives are, and then try and be at your best and compete. So I don't think you would hear many. I've heard rumblings of it outside of our circle, but the food's been fine. We're going to have a great meal tonight from Harry and Izzy's. We're excited about that. We're going to have a great barbecue meal tomorrow afternoon. And we're doing everything we can to give our guys the best possible experience, knowing that we're in a very, very controlled environment to help pull this basketball tournament off.
Just one more for me. Because you played so few games, December, January, March, how have you seen it in terms of conditioning and response execution?
Yeah, Rob, let me follow up too. I didn't totally answer your other question. I mean, I still got access to Synergy, right? We use Synergy. We use Ken Palm, barttorvik.com, another website analytically. I personally use Evernote to make notes in different times, but we've got what we need. We've got a practice playing software we always use, been used for 10 years now. And that we use every analytic piece we can that makes sense. It still funnels down into the same simple things for our guys, right? And it always comes down to taking care of the basketball, transition D, and doing what you can from a personnel standpoint. So to answer that question from a technology piece, we're fine. We got what we need. Certainly as our coaching staff would love to have iPads and different things to make things better from a film standpoint. Maybe we'll get to that, but again, appreciation is at a high level. Our expectations is at a low level, and we're thankful for what we have, and we'll make it work to be the best we can. All right. Now, the other question you were asking, did we see a conditioning issue with all the pauses? Rob, our pauses were based on testing from our opponents. We, in fact, Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't think we had any pauses. We had days off from practice that we gave our team. But to our guys' credit, we've always talked about the most disciplined team's going to win. Our guys were incredibly disciplined. They live across the street, didn't have to get in a car to drive to the gym or practice or go get food. Everything's in walking distance. They live in their own bedrooms. Secretly, they love where they live because the laundry is inside their suite. So they don't have to go to a laundromat or a shared laundry facility. So it's just them and their teammates in those suites, which probably was helpful in a COVID world. But we didn't have any deconditioning issues. We were thankful, and you kind of twist it and look at it, Rob. We went off the grid. We didn't have games to play. So people didn't see maybe the progress and things we were doing and adjusting some things and tweaking some return action or different things we did offensively. And we came back out. We were a much better team. Honestly, it got to the point where I'd watch old games like, yeah, we're not that team anymore. We're much better. I think Cam would feel it, and I think a lot of our guys felt that way.
Understood. Thank you.
No problem.
David?
Hey, Coach. How are things out in Indy so far?
They're great, Dave. Good to hear from you, man. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. My question for you is, anybody during the CAA season resembles anything that Illinois will be doing that you'll be playing on Friday?
Good question. I think there's some physicality. I would say it's all different levels, right? I don't think there's an exact replica of Illinois anywhere, maybe in the country. There's Big Ten teams that speak very highly of Illinois. So some of our teams have the physicality piece, some of our teams have the shooting piece, but I wouldn't say that we'll look back and say, hey, there's one team that really, if we play like we did against Charleston, we'll be fine against Illinois. So there's elements of those teams, Dave, but Illinois is an elite team for a reason. There's not many people like them, not many teams like them. That makes sense.
And final one for me, have any members of the Drexel team from 1996 reached out to you guys wishing you luck this week?
Yes, they have. We've actually, I think we're going to play a video tonight at dinner that our alumni associations put together. We did a Zoom during the pandemic with Malik, and he's been great with this time. A number of other players from other eras as well. So, as I've said before, it's a great honor, and we take it very seriously to represent our school and our university, but also any player that has ever put the uniform on. We play for them this weekend.
Austin, do you have a question for Cam?
Yeah. Cam, I meant to ask you this after the CAA final, and I think Justin brought it up, but the emotion we saw in the broadcast, he was talking about Zach, but that was shown on the broadcast. You were crying. Zach said you couldn't even talk. You were crying so much. What kind of went into those emotions in that moment? What were you feeling?
Just all the hard work that we've been through since I've been here. you know, a lot of the dudes in that locker room are the same guys I came in with, and just we always talked about it, and then just to finally do it, it was just a random emotion from me and from other guys, and yeah, it was just that moment that we all shared together.
And given the circumstances you guys are in, are you guys trying to embrace being in the dance, kind of like looking around, be like, wow, we're really here?
I think we've got past that point of wow, we're really here, and to now it's like, wow, we got to win a game, one game at a time. So I think we're at the point where it's like, you know, we play in 2 days, and now we have to be prepared. You know, they're here just the same way we are. Every team here is good, and we know that we're good too.
All right, thanks, Cam.
Steven?
Hey, Cameron, Steve Weiner from the Associated Press. I got a wacky question for you. Everybody knows the One Shining Moment song. I'm curious, as a kid or playing as a kid, did you ever imagine yourself hitting a buzzer beating shot or anything being in that song?
I think every kid probably goes in their driveway and does stuff like that. You know, I've been watching the tournament since I was real young. So just to be in the tournament, I'm grateful, and I'm honored, honestly, to have my dream come true.
Rob, do you have another question? Anyone else? Justin?
Steven, I jump on that question. I used to watch it, you know, One Shining Moment. I think the first One Shining Moment might have been Keith Smart with Indiana, right? But they used to do videos prior to that too. It was a different song every year. I thought that was pretty good too. That just shows you how old I am, I think.
Yeah, I got a question for Cameron, if I may.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Cameron, Justin Jackson with the Morgantown Dominion Post. Obviously, Coach Spiker had been there for a couple of years there at Drexel when he recruited and brought you in. I'm just kind of wondering, you know, over the years, how have you seen the program grow, and you know, what's it been like to be part of the, you know, part of that process?
Since I've came in, the program has just kept going up every single year. I wouldn't say better players, but you know, we brought in, you know, dudes that mesh with each other, good people. And, you know, everyone just seems to trust each other. We all trust Coach Spiker and what they have for us. And, you know, we just go out there and play as hard as we can for them.
Any other questions before we wrap up?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you Friday.
Thanks, guys.
Justin's hand is still in.